So today's question is very interesting. Welcome, good morning, and happy April 5th. Today is, I believe, a beautiful day in San Diego where I am, and we're still continuing with our course, The Seduction of Spirit. I thank you for joining me here. I thank you for engaging in the conversations we're having around the new book with Menas Kafatos, You Are the Universe, Discovering Your Cosmic Self and Why It Matters. I feel that this forum, where we are right now, is very important for us to continue our discussions, expand the conversation around our true identity, and also learn from each other. So I thank you very much for participating here. I thank you for coming to the discussion forum on discoveringyourcosmicself.com, and I thank you for your engagement with the new book with Menas Kafatos, You Are the Universe, Discovering Your Cosmic Self and Why It Matters. So today's question that comes from, question comes from Kalkin. And I'll read the full question, then we'll go into a deeper examination of the question and the answer. So the question is from Kalkin. He says, Dr. Chopra has written about witnessing awareness, the ability to calmly observe a situation, notice when you're being triggered, and consciously choose how you want to respond. I assume this is the same thing as meta-awareness, that is, awareness of awareness. Is this the main point of concentration, meditation styles? I am aware that it has other purposes, but this is the specific goal that I want to know more about. The instructions I have received are to focus my attention on the object of meditation, such as my breath, and to pull back my attention back to the breath if it wanders. But my instructors invariably assume that my attention is wandering off, and they say things like, notice your thoughts, emotions. Well, I don't have any. They told me to keep my attention on my breath, so that's where it is. I can quiet my mind so that not much is going on. I don't think I'm getting much effective training in meta-awareness this way. I've always had some meta-awareness, but I don't think it's getting exercised through meditation. I suspect I need to modify my practice. What might make more sense for me? Would it be to practice mindfulness while doing something active? What do you think? Any advice? Much obliged. So this is from Kalkin, Kalkin, Well, you have a very important question, and you have defined meta-awareness as the awareness of awareness, which is great, and which is also has practical value, which is that you won't get triggered by situations, circumstances, people, events into predictable responses, because that would be being a biological robot, and that would be actually being at the mercy of every stranger on the street. Somebody is nice to you, you're flattered, somebody is mean to you, and you're offended for the rest of your life. That's a poor way to live. That's an unfortunate way to live. That's like living literally in a virtual reality arcade where everybody has their script and it's all predictable. There's no creativity, there is no evolution, how can there be joy in being an algorithm or a biological robot? So to stop, to take a few deep breaths, to smile, to observe what's happening in your body, to proceed with kindness, compassion, awareness is a very powerful way to live, because it lays the ground for living at the level of being, where intention organizes its own fulfillment. There's spontaneous right action, there's spontaneous right thinking, and there is the sense of flow. It's a great way to live, to be independent of criticism and flattery, to feel beneath no one, and to be fearless, and to live spontaneously. So your definition of meta-awareness is really to be aware of yourself having a perceptual experience, whether that perceptual experience is that of sound or texture or taste or smell or form or color. It's also the awareness of consciously being present when you're making choices. So awareness of volitional experience and awareness of perceptual experience are both a form of meta-awareness that ultimately translates into awareness of awareness. But I have a deeper meaning for meta-awareness, which is where I want to take you today. So here it is. Listen carefully, and I'll come back to this over and over again, because this is freedom. So here's what meta-awareness is. Meta-awareness is the deepest understanding and knowing that all there is awareness. It is the deepest understanding and knowing that the universe, with its infinite diversity, including your own body-mind, is awareness. In other words, there is only awareness. You can substitute other words for this. There is only God, there is only consciousness, there is only being, there is only knowing, there is only presence. But let's settle on one. There is only awareness. There is only awareness. Let me take you through an intellectual exercise around this. So if I asked you, what is this? Most people would say, that's a wallet. If I asked you, what is that object behind me? You would say, that's a curtain. If I asked you, what is this? You'd say, that's, Deepak, his body and his mind. If I asked you, what is this? You'd say, it's a hand. If I asked you, what is this? You might say, it's a coffee cup. If I asked you, what is this? You might say, it's a watch. Okay, so now let's examine each of those experiences. If I asked you, what is this? You'd say, it's a book. What's that thing behind me? It's a painting. So all those are labels and descriptions of human constructs, modes of knowing and perception and experience, and labels that are a result of our conditioned mind, or you might say educated mind in many instances. You might say those are human constructs for fundamental experience. The fundamental experience, of course, is nothing other than a sensation, a taste, a smell, a texture, a sound, which is applicable to all the objects I mentioned. A baby or a puppy would experience textures, sounds, sensations, forms, colors, would just have the knowing of experience. The knowing of experience. So no object, this or this or this or this, no object can be separated from the experience of the object. And the experience is what? Seeing, feeling, thinking, imagining, sensing, perceiving. And no object of experience, including your own body-mind, can be separated from the experience of it. And the experience of it cannot be separated from the silent witnessing awareness in which that experience is known and in which that experience is experienced and in which that experience is understood and in which that experience ultimately subsides even as it arises in time. So, I hope this simple argument will convince you that which we call a wallet or a coffee cup or a book or a curtain or a body or a mind is a mode of knowing and experience in witnessing awareness. You can't get around it. Okay, so if it's a mode of knowing and experience in witnessing awareness, let's go a little bit further. Every object of experience, including a thought, because it's an object of experience, subtle object, every object of experience is actually a modified form of that witnessing awareness. Modified form, because sensation is a modified form of awareness knowing itself. Sound is a modified form of awareness hearing itself. Taste, smell, texture are all modifications, modulations, excitations, modified expressions of the self. The self is the witnessing awareness. Bharati asks, who is the witness? The self is the witness. So it is in the self that mind, body, or that which we call the mind, body, and the entire universe is a process. And that process is the modifications of the self, the witnessing awareness. The self is not a person. The self is that in which a person evolves as a process. The person was a baby, a toddler, a teenager, a boy or a girl, an adult, an old person, and then gone. Okay? So your body-mind is a process in awareness. It's also a process in time, but awareness is not in time because the awareness is the same in which the teenager showed up or the baby showed up or the old person showed up, and all of which is gone. At some point, all of which arises and goes. Bharati asks again, is the self Chit? Yes, it is Chit. It is Sat also. It is truth, it is Chit, it is Ananda. It is the fountainhead through which the universe arises. Tagore has a beautiful poem. He says, where is the fountain that throws out these flowers in a ceaseless outbreak of ecstasy? That's the self. Rhoda Auerbach says the self is not modifiable. It modifies itself into experience. The self by itself is pure consciousness, but it does modify itself into experience, and that experience we end up calling body, mind, wallet, book, curtain, painting, star, galaxy. If we are physicists, we call it gluons, bosons, we call it gravity, space-time, energy, information, matter, all human constructs around the excitations of awareness within awareness. So what is meta-awareness? It is to know at the deepest level that which you call a coffee cup is the self, you, not the person. The person and the coffee cup are both processes in awareness and modified forms of awareness. So then you come to the most fundamental level of understanding in meta-awareness. You know that you are the universe. You know that you as the self is the self in which the individual is being processed as a body-mind, but also the whole universe is being processed as the body-mind. In fact, there is no universe. The universe itself is a human construct. There's only awareness modifying itself into experience. That's it. There's only awareness. And you are that awareness at the most fundamental level of being. You are the self of both that which we call the individual and both that which we call the universe. Marcy Gannon, meta-awareness is to awaken from the illusion of separation. Absolutely. Meta-awareness is ultimate love, not as a sentiment, but as the truth of the one being, love. The one being expressing itself as almost an infinite number of knowers, modes of knowing, and objects known. So that's the expression of Tattvamasi. I am that, you are that, all this is that, that alone is. Aham Brahmasmi, I am the universe. Okay, so meta-awareness is the deepest understanding that every object that you perceive, whether it's a book or a wallet or a curtain or a coffee cup or a body or your own body or other bodies or other minds or other people's expressions, all of that is the self. It's also total freedom. To live in that knowledge, to live in that understanding is meta-awareness. Thou art that, I am that, all this is that, that alone is. Marietta says, how do you find your purpose here on earth? Your purpose here on earth is to find yourself. And in finding yourself, you find the truth of every sentient being. Okay, now the second part of the question was from Kalkin was, how do I get there? Start with witnessing awareness, which ultimately will dissolve into pure awareness. So that witnessing awareness can be accomplished by meditating on the wheel of awareness, which is sound, touch, sight, taste, and smell. Rohan, Ricky, and 29 others have just shared your video. Thank you, Rohan, and all your friends. Sharing this video encourages us all to join in the conversation and expand our awareness to meta-awareness. Okay, so how do we start? We start by being a silent witness to all experience, a silent witness to all choices. Then we become aware of the silent witness, and ultimately the silent witness dissolves, and there is only awareness, and it is the whole universe, including that which we call body-mind. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today, and I will be in touch again tomorrow. Elaine Messiah, Masti Aya, and 31 others shared your video. I really appreciate this because you are all definitely actually participating in creating a better world. More love, more compassion, more joy, more empathy, and that's what we want ultimately. See you tomorrow.